Hey everyone, Kyle Walker here. If you love cars, fixing things, or just want to understand your vehicle better, you're in the right place. I share hands-on tips, smart driving advice, and straight-up car talk without the fluff. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around till the end. You don't want to miss what's coming up. Let's get into it.
In the process of operation without proper care, the body of even the most expensive car will lose its external attractiveness. The shine will be lost. A large number of small and not so small scratches will be formed. Paintwork requires quality care, which consists in periodic washing and obligatory polishing. Some motorists are ready to regularly visit car washes and pay a lot of money for the services of specialists. Others prefer to do everything with their own hands. In fact, polishing a car is not extremely difficult to perform independently. Here you need to use special tools, work according to the instructions, and adhere to the basic rules. This will allow you to provide the car with the most attractive appearance without outside help, as well as guarantee additional protection from external influences. Many people underestimate the importance of polishing, but in fact, it plays a key role not only as a tool for maintaining an attractive appearance of the vehicle. Why polish cars? To begin with, it is necessary to understand the functions of car body polishing, because not everyone understands why it is necessary to carry out such activities. Some for some reason believe that it is enough to wash the car with water and shampoo, wipe it with dry cloths, and that's it, it's done. But do not forget about the last step, which is just the use of polish for the car body. There are two main functions for which polishing is carried out. Small damages, defects and scratches on the paintwork are eliminated. Bumps, chips and scratches can be removed with polish. We are not talking about major damage, as only painting can deal with it. But the polish is extremely effective in removing minor defects. The most attractive appearance is created. For clarity, you can simply put two identical cars next to each other, one of which is simply washed with water, and the second is polished. The difference will be significant. It is for the sake of this gloss that many motorists are ready to spend 1 to 2 hours for bodywork treatment. Often restorative treatment is carried out in car services, where they perform work on painting and body straightening. But there are those who are ready to do everything with their own hands. If you plan to turn to specialists, then take into account that the cost of the service depends on a number of factors, namely, the level and status of the car service center, region, type and size of the car, body condition, specific features of the paintwork, severity of damage, type of polish used, etc. Speaking of prices in the capital, the approximate cost will be from 4,000 rubles for the treatment of a small passenger car with minor damage. If you have an SUV and its body has more serious defects that require high-quality restorative polishing, you will have to pay at least 10,000 rubles. Home polishing products. Before you polish your car yourself, you should choose the right product that will be able to cope with the task. Therefore, polishing is divided into protective and abrasive. In the first case, polishes are used, designed to treat the body without large chips and scratches. The task of the means is to give the surface a shine. Even a novice motorist can cope with this. The second category is abrasive. It is used when working with scratches, scuffs, and chips that can no longer be eliminated by conventional protective polish. The process becomes more complicated and time-consuming. To do it right, you need to learn some key tips and be extremely careful. If you do not need a serious polishing of the car body from scratches and want to do everything with your own hands, buy high-quality protective compositions. They are sold in any automobile chemistry stores and have an abrasive-free composition. Carefully study the components from which the protective polish is made. There are several most effective and relevant solutions. Wax-based. The cheapest protective polishes are wax-based. You should not expect the highest quality from them. It can withstand up to 3 to 4 washes, after which you need to retreat the car. Teflon can retain their properties up to 8 washes without additional processing. Synthetic polymers are used for the manufacture of the means, which allows you to create an effective water-repellent coating. Teflon compositions provide a better shine, give the body color depth and brightness. Additionally, Teflon protects against corrosion and minimizes the negative impact of ultraviolet light on the paint layer. Epoxy. Sufficiently expensive compositions, with which it is not very easy to work. But if you are willing to spend money and time, the result will exceed your expectations. The composition includes epoxy resins that protect against dust, water, and dirt. It copes well with aggressive media, not allowing them to destroy the paint coating. Preservative varnishes. Use these compositions only when the car has to be operated in harsh conditions. They perfectly repel water, protect from mechanical and chemical influences. A quality preservative varnish lasts on the body surface for up to 2 years. Such polishing compounds are applied manually, without the use of a grinder. It is enough to take a good lint-free cloth and thoroughly rub all elements of the bodywork. But be sure to wash the car before use to get rid of dirt and dust. If you have a grinder at your disposal, it is quite possible to use a soft wheel to apply a protective polish. Polishing compounds have different components. Basically, motorists use means with the addition of boron, wax, diamond, Teflon, paraffin, liquid glass. Read also, automatic box sticks. The main symptoms and causes each remedy has its own features, composition, degree of abrasiveness, and purpose. Use them according to the manufacturer's instructions. For abrasive treatment, pastes are used, in the composition of which there are special abrasives. Such polishing is more complex, as it consists of more stages, among which is sanding with emery cloth. Only then are the surfaces sanded with abrasive pastes, wiped, dried, and then a protective polish is applied. Important polishing rules. Not everyone reliably knows how to properly polish a scratch on a car. This is not the easiest procedure, which has its own nuances and rules. Relying on important recommendations, you will definitely manage to competently approach the issue of polishing and get rid of a noticeable scratch. Specialists emphasize such key rules. The choice of materials for processing the body. The approach to the purchase should be extremely attentive. Be sure to read the recommendations and instructions on the package, composition, and components included in the polish. Not all means cope with serious defects, but also for the usual giving shine to buy abrasive compositions is also strongly discouraged. Do not be afraid to ask experts. Ask the opinion of motorists on thematic forums. Premise. To make the product interact well with the body, you need to choose a dry and dark room, where there is good ventilation. Also, a great role is played by quality lighting, allowing you to see all the existing damage, defects, and scratches. Temperature. When you work with sandpaper or a grinder, the surface of the body is heated. Overheating can cause significant damage and destroy the paint layer. Therefore, it is recommended not to treat the same area for a long time. Preparation of the body. It consists in the need to remove all dirt, dust, and necessarily sand. Even a few grains of sand when hitting the surface of the machine in the subsequent processing of the machine can, instead of removing old scratches, can create a large number of new damage. Do not apply polishing paste to abrasive wheels. This applies especially to products with a coarse grain. Remember to constantly move around the bodywork so that you do not rub the same point for a long time. Otherwise, you will just spoil the paintwork. Never polish the bodywork with gasoline or solvent. These are aggressive and potentially dangerous substances. Some people assure that gasoline and solvent perfectly cope with their polishing tasks. But in reality, the paint layer from these agents begins to fade quickly. Polish only from the top, moving to the lower parts of the car body. Therefore, the roof comes first, then the hood, trunk, and ends with polishing the fenders and doors. From these tips, never forget the instructions of the manufacturers of polishing compounds. They will be the basis for bodywork. The same tips will be a supplement and will help to better understand how and in what sequence you need to act. Processing procedure at home. To tell about how to properly polish the car with protective agents is not necessary, since it is enough to apply the preparation to the surface and pass with a lint-free cloth. It is much more difficult to conduct a restorative polishing of the car body, in which you will have to use a grinder. Without this tool, you will not be able to get the proper result. Such polishing of the car with your own hands provides for several consecutive procedures. To polish the car, you will need sandpaper, clean water, grinding paste and machine, foam rubber, clean lint-free rags, rubber scraper, and polish. Room preparation. Regarding the place and conditions for work, we have already told you. It is better not to polish the car in the open air, but to place the vehicle in the garage. Be sure to keep the doors open so that the air circulates well. The room itself should be cleaned. Wet cleaning should be carried out, so that all the dust settles. Lighting. It affects the quality of the work, because with dim light and insufficient illumination, you simply won't see the many scratches. That should have been treated. Lamps should be placed in a perimeter around the car, rather than putting all the lighting on just one side. Washing. Be sure to thoroughly remove all dirt from the car. You should get rid of bird droppings, fallen fruit from trees, pieces of resin, and all sorts of other unnecessary objects. If you have to use solvents to remove some dirt, wet a cloth with them and rub. There is no need to pour gasoline or solvent on the body. Fencing. Since the areas with paintwork will be treated, the plastic will not have to be touched. It is recommended to close it with Scotch tape, because due to the high temperature, the polishing paste can stick to the plastic. Sandpaper treatment. In the presence of fairly serious scratches and damage, it is necessary to carry out a restorative polishing, which involves pre-treatment with emery cloth. Sandpaper with an index of 1,500 is designed to deal with large scratches, and for smaller defects an index of 2,500 is suitable. Water. Always use water when sanding with sandpaper. It will soften the sandpaper itself, as well as prevent it from quickly clogging, as it happens with dry processing. Wet the paper periodically in water, scraping the surfaces of the car. Sandpaper. Processing is carried out with rotary movements and crosswise. If sandpaper with an index of 1,500 is used for processing deep scratches, after it go over the surfaces with finer grained paper at 2,500. Do not overdo it with sanding with sandpaper, because inexperienced motorists rub the surface too vigorously, breaking the integrity of the paint layer. If this happens, the car will have to be painted afterwards, which is also an extremely delicate job. Machine. Now it remains to understand how to properly polish your car with the help of a special polishing machine. It is the machine that is most convenient to use. First comes the densest grinding wheel. Advantageously, it is made in white color, but it is better to make sure of this when buying. The paste is applied. Immediately apply it to a large area is not worth it, because the means will solidify, because of which you will get the opposite effect when processing with a machine. Apply to a small area and polish. Use machines where the speed can be easily and conveniently adjusted. Do not use machines that are too powerful, as they will quickly damage the paint layer. Do not press hard on the surface, and do not rub corners for a long time. When the grinder is finished, wipe the area with a dry lint-free cloth. You can move on to the next area. If you feel that when working with a grinder, the circle as if it is viscous, rotates slower, and with great effort, the varnish is overheated and has begun to melt. Be sure to stop, let the surface cool down. Only then continue working. Having finished polishing with a tight circle, change the nozzle to a soft one. It is carried out processing the entire body, according to the recommended sequence. Read also, how to perform the correct noise insulation of the wheel arches of the car. Some motorists are interested in how to polish a car manually, without using a grinder. This is quite a difficult question, because without power tools it is impossible to carry out a high-quality treatment with a similar effect. If you have a budget car or an old foreign car, try using brake fluid. It is applied to a soft, dry rag, after which it wipes the area of the body which has damage. Brake fluid can remove shallow and small scratches. The effect can be maintained for a year, but then gradually the body fades. To treat good foreign cars with this method is not recommended. Carrying out polishing work after painting. If your car is only after painting, here there are nuances regarding how to properly polish the car. It is necessary to do this necessarily, because even a very high-quality painting leaves behind noticeable traces. It is by polishing you can get rid of them, bringing the state of the body to the desired perfection. First, preparatory work is carried out, which consists of thorough washing of the vehicle, taping the areas that will not be treated with polish, blowing with compressed air, degreasing the surfaces. Grinding can be done wet or dry. Wet polishing involves periodically wetting the emery cloth in water. This method is suitable for those who perform processing by hand. This method when working with a machine is not suitable. Step-by-step wet processing is as follows. The surface is treated with clean water. On a spatula made of plastic is wound sandpaper, with a grain size of about 1,200 to 1,500. Gradually wetting the body with water from an atomizer, sandpaper treatment is carried out. Paper is used to remove all irregularities. The paper is changed to a finer grit paper of about 2,000 to 2,500 using a protective paste. In a grinder, carry out processing of the entire body. When the work is completed, be sure to wash the car using a quality auto shampoo. This will remove the residue of the paste, as well as finally fix the result. Advantages of professional treatment. How to polish the car with your own hands. You already know. The procedure is not easy if we are talking about restorative treatment, but many persistently continue to do everything on their own, ignoring the services of car repair shops. Nowadays, it is not difficult to find instructions and tips on how to polish the body without outside help, using improvised tools and materials available in any stores. But most of these methods involve soft polishing, which is performed using no more than 2 polishing wheels, 1 paste, and a couple of rags for finishing. You should not expect incredible results from such a procedure, which will last for months. No one gives a guarantee of quality polishing. Only a few amateurs can achieve a result similar to professional processing. And for this, they will have to put a lot of effort, time, and nerves. If you give preference to professional polishing, you will get the following advantages, several different in purpose and efficiency. Polishing materials are used at once. Professional equipment is used for processing, which is extremely unprofitable to buy for personal use. Often at least 2 masters are engaged in polishing of one car. Polishing materials are selected based on a variety of factors that can affect the final result. Experienced specialists work on the car, which minimizes any errors and mistakes. If you are faced with quite serious damage to the paint layer, it is better to entrust the work to proven masters. Each car owner decides how and how often to take care of his own vehicle. Some people give time to the car literally every week. Others only occasionally wash the car, and the car can only dream about polishing. It is not difficult to guess who will have a car that will last longer and look much more attractive. The choice is yours. In conclusion, polishing your car at home can be a rewarding experience that enhances its appearance and protects the paint. By understanding the different types of polish and tools available, as well as following the proper techniques, you can achieve professional looking results without the need for a shop. Remember to always work in a shaded area, use the right amount of product, and take your time to ensure an even finish. With practice and patience, you can keep your vehicle looking its best for years to come. Thank you for watching, and happy polishing.